Welcome to the Deep Dive, the show where we really get into the sources to give you the full picture.
Exactly. And today we're tackling a really dynamic spot in Seoul, South Korea.
Eulji-ro.
That's the one. If you're heading to Seoul, or honestly, even if you're just interested in how cities change, you need to know about Eulji-ro.
Right. And our deep dive today is going to unpack why this place nicknamed Hipjiro, which I love.
Yeah, Hipjiro. Hip plus Eulji-ro.
Why it's become such a global hotspot for visitors. It seems kind of paradoxical.
It absolutely is. Hipjiro really nails it, that modern feel. But when you look at the source material, Eulji-ro's whole identity is built on, well, tension.
Okay, tension between what?
It's the heartland of Newtro, that blend of new trends and retro vibes.
Wow, right. Newtro.
Yeah, it's like the gritty industrial feel of the 1970s is literally right there, side by side, with these super sleek, trendy new shops and bars.
So old factories next to fancy coffee shops.
Yeah, pretty much. Our sources call it the place for the raw sensibility of Seoul. You've got these mastercraft people who've been there for decades, sharing the same narrow alleys with the MZ generation. Boomers and Zoomers, basically.
And it's smack bang in the middle of Seoul, isn't it?
Totally central.
Yeah.
You're super close to big names like Myeongdong and Insadong, and the big landmark is Seoul Plaza, that huge building.
Right, so if you're visiting, where do you aim for? Which station?
Good question. You'll want Eulji-ro 3-gate, Eulji-ro 4-gate, or maybe Jangno 3-gate station. They all get you right into the heart of it.
Okay, so to really get Hipjiro today, we need to understand its roots. You mentioned industrial.
Deeply industrial. That's the foundation. I mean, historically, way back, it was called Gurige, which means Copper Road.
Copper Road. Interesting.
Yeah, and then after liberation, it was renamed after General Eulji-mundoik, a famous military leader from the Goguryeo Kingdom.
So it's always been important.
Oh, for centuries.
Yeah.
Back in the Joseon dynasty, it even had the Haimanseo, that was the government's public medical office, serving ordinary people.
Wow, okay. Public health hub.
But yeah, its modern identity, that was really forged after the Korean War. It became this powerhouse for Korea's boom. Think textiles, steel, electronics, especially in the 60s and 70s.
And Seoul Plaza is the icon of that era, right?
Exactly. Built in 1968, it was actually Asia's largest electronics market back then.
Asia's largest.
Yep. Today, it's kind of rebranded as Maker City Suwon, still lots of electronics, lighting, tools. But the sources really push this idea of an alley tour.
Right, I saw that. Why focus on getting lost in the alleys instead of just seeing the big plaza? What's the hip factor there?
Because the real Eulji-ro, the soul of it, is in that maze. It's the thousands of tiny, specialized workshops packed in there, ironworks, printing presses, lighting shops.
Oh, okay.
The authenticity, that raw sensibility everyone talks about, it comes from walking past a place that's literally still welding metal or cutting glass, and then right next door there's this hidden chic cafe.
I see. So the contrast is the point.
That's the magic. That's the vibe people want to capture, photograph, experience. Getting lost is part of the discovery.
Makes sense. But, okay, wandering alleys.
Mm.
What if the weather's bad, like Seoul's summer humidity or, monsoon rain? What's the indoor daytime plan?
Good point. You can actually head underground. Eulji-ro has this massive underground walkway. It's called Seoul Aratgil.
Aratgil.
Yeah, it means below ground path. It's 3.3 kilometers long, connects City Hall all the way to Domdaemun History and Culture Park Station. And it's not just a tunnel, they've deliberately turned it into an arts and culture street. There are exhibitions, like one called I Am Eulji-ro, even these cool piano stairs. So yeah, totally comfortable, whatever the weather.
That's clever. And I read something fascinating, that the industrial identity pops up even in the subway station.
It does. It's pretty cool. Inside Eulji-ro 3-gate station, specifically, there's this public display case.
What's in it?
Tools like hammers, pliers, drills, all stuff actually manufactured right there in the Eulji-ro workshops, like a little tribute to the area's craft heritage.
That's a great detail. Okay, let's shift to the cafes and shops that build on this whole Newtro thing. Coffee Hanyak Bang comes up a lot.
Oh, yeah, definitely a key spot.
And the name Hanyak Bang.
Yeah.
That means herbal medicine room, right? Is that just a cool name or?
No, it's totally intentional. That cafe is built on the exact spot where the old Haimanseo, that Joseon-era public medical office, used to be.
Get out, really?
Seriously, so you're literally sipping your, fancy pour-over coffee on ground that's been about public well-being for centuries.
Yeah.
It adds this whole other layer.
That's incredible context.
And right next door, there's Haimandang. They do cakes and chocolates, same kind of antique-y retro feel inside. They work together.
Okay, adding that to the list. Now for shopping, there seems to be a split in the Newtro approach. You've got places like Cosmos, Wholesale.
Ujuman Mall, yeah. That place is pure vintage heaven. Second floor of the Eulji-ro 3-gay shopping center. Think old records, classic books, antique bits and pieces, proper retro treasure hunting.
Right. But then you have Ursian Book, which sounds different.
Very different vibe, though still playing with that retro aesthetic. RCN Book is closer to Eulji-ro 1-gay station. It's gorgeous inside, designed like a book tunnel, lots of English vintage decor touches.
Sounds stylish.
It is, but the concept is super modern. They don't organize books by genre, but by themes, like sections for daily, weekend, style, inspiration. They mix books with related lifestyle goods. It's curated, very intellectual take on Newtro.
Interesting contrast. Okay, let's talk food. Because before all the hip bars, Eulji-ro had a very specific food reputation, right? Something maybe a bit challenging for first-timers.
Ah, yes. We absolutely have to talk about the cold noodles. No.
Naengmyeon.
Eulji-ro is legendary for its naengmyeon scene. You've got places like Eulji-myeon have been around since the 80s, serving Pyongyang naengmyeon. These are institutions.
Okay, Pyongyang naengmyeon. The sources describe the flavor as distinct. What does that actually mean for someone like me who hasn't tried it? Is it weird?
Huh. Well, distinct is polite. It's definitely an acquired taste, and that's kind of the point for enthusiasts.
How so?
Unlike a lot of Korean food that hits you with strong flavors, spicy, sweet, garlicky, Pyongyang, naengmyeon broth, usually beef or sometimes pheasant-based, is incredibly subtle. Like, really subtle. Some people tasting it for the first time say it tastes like, well, slightly salty water.
Okay, not exactly a selling point, maybe.
Maybe not initially. But the appreciation comes from the texture of those chewy buckwheat noodles, the intense coldness of the dish, and that very clean, umami, savory, but bland broth. It's about nuance. It's a historical taste, a true test.
Right, a culinary adventure. What if you want something hot and comforting? Especially that Korean idea of ayo-kyo, fighting heat with heat.
Then you hit up Munwok. It's been there for over 50 years, serving seollyeongtaeng.
Seollyeongtaeng, that's the milky beef bone soup.
Exactly. Super nutritious, deeply savory, proper old-school Korean comfort food. Perfect for that ayo-kyo approach.
Okay, good to have options. Now let's jump to the new scene, because this is where Eulji-ro gets vertical, right? You can literally finish your historic noodles and then climb way up to a rooftop bar.
That's the quintessential Hipjiro move. And 59 Steps wine bar is the perfect example.
59 steps.
It's not literal. Completely literal. It's in an old building on Cheonggyeong Row, and you climb 59 steps, no elevator, to get to the 5th floor and the rooftop.
Wow. You earned your drink? Must be worth it for the view.
People rave about it. The ambiance, the lighting, and especially the night views are fantastic. It's become a really popular date spot.
I bet.
And get this, it's apparently a super popular filming location now, too, for like Netflix shows, Disney dramas. Even popped up in a show called Ghost Stories.
So you get dinner, a view, and maybe see where your favorite K-drama was shot.
Pretty much. And after climbing all those stairs, the menu is definitely upscale. A world away from the workshops below.
What kind of stuff?
Great wine list, including natural wines, port wine, whiskeys. Food-wise, think sophisticated bites like gamaba, selashilo, shrimp sizzling in garlic oil.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
Then melon prosciutto, bacon toowoomba pasta, even sirloin steak. But the basic free snack they give you, chicken-like crackers. Kind of funny.
Huh. A touch of the old school. Okay, so from the fancy rooftop, let's go back down, back into those alleys as the sun sets. This is when it really changes, right?
This is prime time, when Eulji-ro truly lives up to the Hipjiro name. The workshops close up, the printing presses go quiet.
And then what happens?
Suddenly, the narrow streets just fill up. Plastic tables and chairs appear, rows and rows of them, out in the open air between the old buildings. It creates this amazing, buzzing, communal vibe. Some people compare it to a Southeast Asian night market, others maybe like a German beer garden feel.
This must be the famous Nogari Alley.
You got it. Eulji-ro Nogari Alley, usually packed near Eulji-ro 3-gay, exit 4. That's the epicenter.
Nogari, that's a snack.
Yeah. Nogari is dried young pollack. It used to be the super cheap go-to snack for the workers knocking off their shifts back in the day. Simple beer food.
Now it's trendy.
Completely embraced by the younger crowd, the MZ generation. You've got legendary spots like Mansionhof and OB Bear. They've been pouring cheap beer since 1980. Imagine the history in those places.
Wow. And I hear getting a seat is tough.
Oh, yeah, especially in warmer weather. After 7 p.m., forget about it unless you're lucky or persistent. It gets absolutely packed.
What's the classic order then?
Cheap draft beer, obviously, paired with the nogari, maybe some briquette grilled dried pollock, or if you want something a bit more substantial, lots of places do great garlic fried chicken now, like Hipjiro Pub.
Okay, so loud, crowded, outdoor beer gardens. But Eulji-ro is also known for something else at night, right? These hidden bars.
Yes, the speakeasy trend is huge there. It just fits the area so perfectly.
Why? Because the buildings are already kind of hidden and industrial.
Exactly. It plays right into that whole discovery theme. These old, sometimes rough-looking buildings are perfect for concealing cool new venues, like take the ranch brewing Eulji-ro.
Okay.
Finding the entrance is part of the fun. Sometimes it's disguised as an old shop front, and the actual door is like hidden inside a vintage fridge or a vending machine panel.
No way. That's brilliant.
It totally adds to the appeal, and the beer itself is good craft stuff, reasonably priced to maybe 7,000 to 8,500 won for a big glass, which is pretty decent for craft beer in Seoul.
Cool. Any other hidden gems like that?
Definitely. There's Eulji-ro Brewing. They have a couple of tap rooms tucked away in this really cool neon-lit alley. Art Monster Eulji-ro is another. You climb up these narrow stairs and they do tasting flights.
Nice.
And if you want a proper speakeasy cocktail vibe, sources mention Bar Suki, which has this whole 1920s decadent theme. Or the Edge Cafe and Bar, that one's cool because it's like a vinyl record shop and cafe by day, then flips into a bar with DJs at night.
Wow. So much going on behind unassuming doors. It's amazing how well this mix of old industry and new cool seems to work, at least for visitors.
Right. It seems like this perfect blend.
But there's got to be another side to it. We can't really talk about Eulji-ro without getting into the conflict underneath it all, can we?
No, we really can't. And it's crucial context. This whole Hipjiro transformation, it's not some smooth, happy accident. It's happening on top of a real economic struggle.
What kind of struggle?
That industrial ecosystem we talked about, the network of master artisans, the specialized workshops, the printing presses, that's not just scenery. It's considered a vital piece of Seoul's history and culture. These are skills passed down generations.
Okay.
Yet just back in 2014, the city government was seriously looking at redeveloping huge swaths of Eulji-ro, which basically meant tearing down these decades-old businesses.
Wiping them out.
Potentially,
Really?
yeah, displacement. And that obviously sparked huge resistance. You had artists getting involved, activists, and of course, the craftspeople themselves fighting back.
What were they fighting for?
They're arguing for preservation, yes, but also for industrial revitalization. They want support to keep their trades alive, not just be pushed out for cafes and bars.
So there's a real tension there between what the original tenants, the craft people want, and what this new Hipjiro tourist economy seems to be bringing.
A massive tension. It sounds like the very hipness that visitors like us enjoy is directly linked to how precarious things are for the people who made Eulji-ro what it was in the first place.
Is that the heart of the issue? This ambivalence. Wanting things to get better, but not wanting to be replaced.
That really seems to be the core struggle, yeah. The sources suggest the long-term tenants, the workshop owners, they want industrial regeneration. They want investment to help their actual businesses thrive, maybe partnerships with big companies, you know.
Makes sense. Keep the manufacturing identity.
Right. But what they feel they're getting from the city with projects like the Saloon Maker's Cube, they see it as mostly commercial regeneration. Stuff aimed at tourists, more cafes, more galleries, more visitor facilities.
Things that don't necessarily help the guy running the printing press downstairs.
Exactly. So they're ambivalent. They know the area needs updating, needs life breathed into it, but they're worried. Worried about rent hikes driving them out, losing the whole industrial character, and just being replaced by, quote, young, new industry tenants who have no connection to the place's history or the existing network. Gentrification, basically.
Wow. Okay, this has been a really fascinating deep dive. Eulji-ro.
Yeah.
It's packed with these incredible contrasts, isn't it?
Absolutely defining contrast.
You can literally walk out of a subway station, see that display case of old tools,
Yeah.
walk past a tiny noodle shop that's tasted the same for 40 years, and then climb 59 steps to sip natural wine in a bar that was just on Netflix. It's wild.
It really is. And I think the key takeaway is this. When you walk those alleys, whether they're bustling with workers during the day or packed with drinkers at night, lit by neon, You need to remember you're in a living museum.
A living museum of Seoul's industrial past.
Exactly. And that hipness, that cool factor you're experiencing, it's completely tangled up with this ongoing fight. The fight of that industrial soul, trying to survive, trying to figure out its future in the face of gentrification.
So it's more than just cool bars and photo ops.
So much more. Being there isn't just about the food or the sights. It's about being present in this really pivotal moment of a city evolving, maybe even struggling with itself.
Leaves you with something to think about.
Definitely. So the question for you, the visitor, wandering through all these contrasts is, what story of Eulji-ro are you going to take away? What part of its complex identity will you choose to see and remember?